Hi, everyone. Welcome back to Leslie and Lily, the podcast for business owners as they are learning how to market themselves in the digital sphere. My name is Leslie, owner of Lily Rose DMA, and today we have a wonderful guest on the show. She is a fellow marketer and she is all about strategy. Yes, 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 you actually do need strategy when you are trying to run your business. Today, I am introducing Morgan to you. Hi, how are you?
Hi, I'm good.
Yes, so okay. I wanted you on the show, one, because like we got along really well and we were just like chatting it up. I'm like, oh my God, you're
Mhm.
so close. But
We're
also,
both Chicago
because,
girls, so
hey, Chicago, right? But also because you are a fellow marketer. So, could you tell us a bit, like, first, what exactly um, do you do with marketing? Because it is an umbrella term. So, what is your business exactly?
yeah, so I have a marketing studio. It's called Atlas and Anchor, and I help small business owners, specifically small business owners who are just getting started with their business. Um, I help them put a fully integrated like marketing plan and marketing strategy into place for their business, so that they can grow with confidence and hustle a little less, because they know like the levers to pull to start seeing the results that they want. Um, so I do everything from helping people uncover their ideal customer audience to helping them write better offers, um, putting together email marketing strategies and social media strategies, and helping them learn the ins and outs of SEO so that everything kind of works together as this cohesive whole, versus the different pieces and parts operating in silos, which just ends up creating more work for the business owner. So I'm all about figuring out ways that you can repurpose content, and just really simplify things for yourself as the business owner who's trying to do all these other things in addition to marketing your business. So,
Yes. I mean, I know, as you know, it is difficult to wear all those hats. It is
mhm,
so difficult. And so when clients come to you, as well as I know when clients come to me, they're already frazzled. They're in
mhm,
this place of burnout because they have an actual business that they're trying to run. And then they've been trying to do marketing for themselves for, I don't know, it could be 1 month to 10 years, and they finally have given in and they're like, okay, this isn't my expertise. I
mhm.
can't do this at all. So it's always important when you have someone like yourself or like myself who actually knows what they're talking about, who is like, hey, I'm here specifically for this part of your business. And my job is to help you grow. My job, like, we're in this together. It's not a
Yep,
fight. I promise
exactly.
you. I promise you. So, did you always want to be in marketing, or how did you become an entrepreneur in the first place?
So I've been in marketing for almost, oh gosh, probably it's been over 12 years. I got my degree in marketing. And I kind of bounced around at some different agencies in Ohio, where I'm from, and ultimately ended up here in Chicago working for one of the big ad agencies downtown. And I loved it. I enjoyed the work that I did, but it kind of, for me, it lacked purpose.
Mm,
Um, I was helping these really big corporations, these like household brand names, make tons of money, and which was great, and I loved doing that. But I come from a small business household. My parents were small business owners, and I know that a lot of work goes into being a small business owner. And I don't know when the bug kind of got me, but at a certain point, I decided that I wanted to branch out on my own and do my own thing and start helping those people who, to me, I felt like really needed the support and kind of uh, the strategic help that I could provide them. So that was when I branched out on my own back in February of 2020. So right before everything kind of like hit the fan.
Mhm.
And I have been working on my own ever since, and helping the small business owners that desperately need some support and guidance when it comes to their marketing.
That's awesome. I really like the fact that you pivoted, but within your own industry, you know?
Hmm.
So a lot of people, because of COVID, they ended up either being furloughed or they realized that they really didn't like their job, like, they knew they didn't like their job before, but they were just like, "You know, it's time. It's time for me to find something else," and people started a business during that time in a completely different industry. So for you to actually, continue on in marketing because you actually like it, but decide that, "You know what? Big corporations don't need me, but smaller businesses need the strategy that I know how to implement from working with big corporations."
Yep.
Having someone like you on their team is definitely like a win, 100%, because it's like you know the ins and outs of everything. And
Yep.
it's also, I mean, it probably also feels good because as you said, your parents are, small business owners. So it's like you're a bit closer to your roots. Yeah.
Yep. Exactly. Exactly.
Oh. So when you have clients, like when people come to you, what are some of the top things that you have noticed so far across the board that they need the most help with?
So I would say the biggest thing that I notice is there's a couple things. The first big one is visibility. I think when you are a small business, you're just starting out, you're trying to work in your business, um, as well as trying to grow it and trying to market it. Visibility can really be a struggle. And by visibility, I mean making sure that you're getting yourself out there in front of the right people, the people who actually need what you have to offer. Um, so what I see a lot is that businesses tend to focus the bulk of their energy on social media. And social media is great, don't get me wrong. Um, but it can be, anymore, it can be really, really hard to gain traction on social platforms. Um, so helping them identify other avenues that they can leverage, with limited budgets, with limited time, and taking into account the fact that they're working by themselves, um, or often working by themselves. Um, I think branching out and getting out of that social media box can be important. So that's definitely something that I notice a lot is the visibility factor. Um, I see so often like businesses, you know, and it makes sense, but when you're starting out, you want to make sales. That's all you want to do, right? But in order to make sales, you actually have to need those people who need what you have to offer first. So
Mhm.
if people don't know you're there, they can't know that they need to buy from you, right? So
Yeah.
um, I think just doubling back to that whole visibility aspect and making sure that you're getting in front of enough people and enough of the right people is really important. And then something else that I see a lot is business owners, especially small business owners and creative small business owners, really struggle with selling their stuff. They really struggle with putting their offers out there. But something that I like to tell people or remind people is that if you don't give people opportunities to say yes to what you offer, the answer is always going to be no. Like you have to consistently put your offers out there if you want more people to take you up on them. And I think, I was guilty of this when I first started out too, is you publish your website, you put, the website link in your Instagram profile or whatever, and you just expect people to stumble over it and then go and get interested and go shop what you have to offer. But stumbling isn't really a strategy, right? If you want consistent sales, you've got to make sure that you're consistently putting those offers out there. So I think those are probably the two big things that I see a lot of small business owners struggle with.
And those are very valid struggles. I feel like even as a marketer, even though you have this, like, you know what to do when it comes to your own business, it's really easy to struggle with the same things because it's
Mhm.
almost like see the forest for the trees.
Exactly. I
You
use
know,
that
it's
all
like
the
you're trying to do so much, but you said when it comes to visibility, a lot of business owners feel like social media is the only way to go, and you also show them how to get out of that social media box. What are some ways that people can get out of the social media box and market in different ways?
So I've got clients who have been featured on TV. That's a big one. Like even like teeny tiny mom and pop shops getting featured on TV, like the local news, has been hugely helpful for her. SEO is one that I think gets underutilized a lot by small businesses, probably because it's a little bit complicated. Um, there's a lot of finding keywords to rank for can be a bit of a challenge, but I have blog posts that continue to deliver thousands of people to my website every month without me having to do anything. Um, Social media is great, but it takes consistent day-to-day upkeep, right? In order for it to
Mhm.
work, in order for it to deliver returns. But there are other avenues like SEO that can give you um, more of an evergreen presence. Some other things are leveraging your current or past customers or leveraging the audiences of others. So showing up on
Mhm.
being guests on podcasts, being guests on video channels, being guests on writing a guest blog post for someone, doing giveaways with other businesses. Um, what are having a referral program, having, using affiliates. There are tons of ways that you can get visibility for your business that don't even necessarily have to fully rely on you. Like if you can take some of that work off of your own shoulders and put it on somebody else through a referral program or through like using their audience, um, that can be kind of a quicker win sometimes than trying to do it all yourself all the time.
Yes. Yes, very, very true. I like that you talked about blogging because I feel like, you know, in the early 2000s, it was just like, everyone was starting a blog and everyone had a blog. And
Mhm.
then I felt like 10 years later, it was kind of a resurgence. So now we're back in the 10-year mark again from that. And so I feel like honestly, 7 to 10 years, you see like blogging isn't dead. You should still do this. And so you have people that are like, it's just one more thing that I have to do, and I don't even
Yeah.
want to do it. But I do agree with you that like really about, SEO and learning how to, scatter your posts with the right keywords that and making sure it's relevant, making sure you're not just packing everything in there because you'll get flagged, learning how to do that as well as making sure that you have an email list that you are building, that you are consistently putting out. Those two things alone help your business grow. Um,
Yeah.
I'm very big. I'm very big on emails and I'm big on networking because I found that those are the two ways, at least for myself personally and for some of my clients as well, that it really works for them, especially networking, because
Mhm.
as you have said, you know, social media and like having a website and things like that, that is important. You do need to have an audience because nowadays you don't know if you're talking to a human or a robot, right?
Yep.
So to actually have an online presence, to actually see you are a real place and not just in the metaverse, that's important to people. But when you use your email list, right? When you actually go out and meet people and use an email list, you're actually able to sell them need to. You're actually, people have already opted in for your content. And so they're more likely to buy your product and services. And
Exactly.
when you're out there actually talking to people and networking with people, that's where a lot of your clients can come from.
Mhm.
I know that you yourself probably have been a part of this, as most business owners. Most of my business comes from networking. Even though I have people visiting my site, I have people listening to the podcast, but people who are, ready, it's, I'm at an event or it was a referral from somebody else. Have you also found the same for yourself and for your clients?
Yeah, when I was just starting my business, I think at least I did, I had this tendency to kind of work by myself, right? Like I kind of did everything on my own and I just existed as a business owner off by myself. And this was like during COVID, so it was hard to network and connect with people. I think um, just because of all the limitations and everything that was going on. But in the past year, I've really started focusing on reaching out to other businesses and building communities of other businesses. I'm part of different mom groups, like mom entrepreneur groups. And there is, those can be incredibly powerful, not just from finding like new clients, but also having other people to like bounce ideas off of, right? I feel like
Mhm.
sometimes when you're a business owner and you're working solo, you don't really have a team, you kind of get trapped in this, I don't know the right word for it, but in a silo almost, like you're just kind of bouncing ideas with yourself and you don't really get anywhere new because you're not getting any different opinions or perspectives. But when you network and you start building um, groups of other business owners that you can reach out to and connect with, you start to get a lot of new ideas and you start to get a lot of new opportunities, opportunities for like partnering together to do giveaways or do promotions. Sorry, I live on Armitage and it's like a crazy busy street. Um, but yeah, so I think networking has, in the past year for me, has been unbelievably helpful in so many ways, not just from getting new business, but just helping me branch out and grow as an entrepreneur, I think.
That is extremely real and good advice. I feel like there's a difference. In the beginning, a lot of us are solopreneurs, you
Mm-hmm.
know, because we are doing everything ourselves. And then I feel like when you have a community is when you become more of an entrepreneur.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
I agree.
and so I completely understand that. I feel like you and I have had, a similar experience because it's been more about, you're doing it yourself because kind of in a way it's still bringing over that, I guess, corporate quote unquote,
Mm-hmm.
mentality into your business because it's like, okay, I was in this department at my job. these are the projects I had to work on. I worked on all of this myself. Like
Mhm.
I might have asked a manager or, somebody else to be like, clarification. Okay, you want this done. They need it at this time. That's cool. But you weren't the ones that were, necessarily making in the sales or bringing in the new client. Like that was another department, right? So you're like, I'm great at this part and
Exactly.
learning, like, yeah, you still are great at that part, but it took all of these moving parts in order to make a business run efficiently and to make profits off of it. And I think that until you get into community with other entrepreneurs, then it can lead to burnout. It can lead to you
Oh my gosh,
questioning
yes.
your it can lead to you questioning yourself. It can lead to you
Mhm.
feeling like maybe I'm not good at this. Like maybe I can't do it and I thought I could. And then, depending on who you are, you might have imposter syndrome. Like it could spiral very quickly. So it is important. I've also learned the same thing of talking to fellow entrepreneurs. One of the reasons why I started this podcast wasn't just because I wanted to, give marketing advice, was also because I wanted to meet other business owners.
Mhm.
I wanted to do this because I started this also back in 2020. And hearing people's stories, hearing their highs and their lows, and I'm like, "Oh my god, so it's not just me. It's not just me. Okay. Oh, this is normal."
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah.
It's like it does normalize it. You kind of and it almost there's camaraderie there. And I feel like
Mhm.
so often that's missing especially when you're a solopreneur and you're operating by yourself. Um, I got to a point where I really missed, there were parts about corporate life that I kind of enjoyed, right? Like being able to bounce ideas off of other people or, stop by their cubicle or whatever and chat for a couple minutes. Like I don't get the opportunity to do that anymore, but building a community and a network of individuals that you can like tap into and reach out to is has just it's so powerful, especially when you are working as a solopreneur and you don't have anybody else really that you're talking to on a daily basis, except for maybe your clients. And kind of back to that whole seeing the forest through the trees that you said earlier. Sometimes when you're working in your business, you are so close to everything that it's hard for you to think about things. Is it objectively? I always get them confused.
Mm,
Subjectively,
yeah,
objectively. It's hard for
objectively.
you to think of things objectively, um, because you're so close to it. And I found when I'm able to run ideas by other people, that's when I get the best ideas or the
Mm,
best path forward because it forces me to take a step back and talk about it from a different perspective or a different lens. Um, so yeah, I 100% agree with you that community it's huge for business owners.
yes. Something that you talked about earlier that I wanna just circle back to is when you said it's hard for creative business owners to sell themselves. And
Mhm.
I know I am definitely a part of that, where
Mhm.
it's this thing of it's like I have all of this great advice for other people, and when it came to myself, it was this thing of, "But isn't that like, you really want to see, like, another ad, quote, unquote, of
Uh-huh.
me?" It's just like, I already said that, but then getting into the mindset of it takes what, like 7 to 10 times of
Mhm.
someone seeing your ad before they'll even really stop and look at it, you know? It used to be like people would like, "Oh, let me click on this and let me let go here," but where especially if it's a video, "Oh, now I'll actually listen to the video." Okay, yeah, cool. And then it might take another, 7 to 10 times before they're just like, "Huh, I guess. Yeah, I'll click and see what this offer is about." And it takes time, and if you are a creative, you feel like, do people really care? Like, they're always skipping it anyway. I just want to work on this. So, do you have any advice for people to get out of that head space and just continue to say, no, this is important?
Um, so the advice I typically give people is, because I do think often we worry about, well, number one, the things that I see a lot from clients, number one is the vulnerability aspect of it, right? You've spent so much time putting together this product or service, and if you put it out there and people don't respond the way you think they're going to respond, it's going to be soul crushing, right? So I think that's a big piece of why people are so hesitant, especially when you're a creative business owner and you've put your heart and soul into like creating something, putting it out there. I had someone tell me once, it's like walking naked into a room. Like it kind of does feel that way. You're kind of
Mhm.
um, that's how vulnerable it feels sometimes. And I think the other thing is you worry about annoying or offending people, which goes back to
Mhm.
what you were talking about. Like they've seen this ad before, like they're going to get annoyed. Um, and I think the advice that I typically give is to stop, like, instead of thinking about it like selling, like I'm out there selling my product, think about it instead of as offering, right? So I have something that I worked really hard on, and I believe that it can make my ideal customer's life better. So, because of that, I believe that they deserve to hear about it, right? And so, what I'm going to do is I'm going to offer it to them. And if they need it, they'll take me up on it. And if they don't, that's fine. But instead of like putting all this this pressure on ourselves to like go out there and sell and pound the pavement like those, the old school encyclopedia pushers that used to go door to door, like
Mhm.
just offer. Believe in what you've created enough to say, you know what, these people need what I have to offer and it can make their lives better. So I owe it to them to tell them about it. And I think when I started thinking about it like that, it personally helped me remove some of that ickiness that you feel when you
Mhm.
sell. Um, because it was less about me making money and it was more about how I could serve or help somebody else. And I mean, now don't get me wrong, like obviously I want to make money and money is great and all these things, but like I think when you take the selling part of it off of yourself and you put it instead, you look at it as you're serving your perfect customers and you're showing up to serve them, it makes you feel a little less icky about it. So
Mhm.
at least for me, and that's what I've really tried to kind of impart on my clients, and I think it's helped, um, just reframing that mindset.
Yes, yes, it does. I I also have heard that, everything that you said is very true. You feel as though um, you don't want to annoy anybody. You don't want anyone to leave your email list because they feel like I didn't sign up just to be sold to.
Mhm.
I'm like, technically, but getting to a place where you're just saying, hey, this could really change your life. Like, it could
Mhm.
really help you in your business. This could really make life easier for you. And I just want your life to be easier. And I'll be here saying the same stuff, like when you're ready for it. And if you don't need it, somebody else does, really
Yeah.
getting into that place. I think that comes from also just being more comfortable as a business owner, like being more comfortable with your product and service. It takes time for some people. Some people are like, I am great. I have always been amazing. So let me tell you. And
Yeah.
other people are more of like, yeah, I'm good at this thing, or it's a mind thing, where it's just like you think everyone's good at it or everyone's good at something, so like it's not a big deal. And you're like,
Yeah.
actually, it's a super big deal because I didn't know that you could do that,
Yeah.
so allowing yourself allowing yourself to be seen is something that is important. And I think that if you have more of a introverted personality, it can be difficult at times because there's a protectiveness that is there, because it's also a draining aspect of like trying to do certain things. And that's why if you can't do it, you have marketers like Morgan and marketers like myself that can help you do it, where it's just like, okay, oh, this is why you're great and wonderful. Cool, cool, cool. We got this for you. Don't even worry about it. Because sometimes it's just like, I can't think about it. Now, one of the last things I want us to talk about is as a business owner, right? And even as a marketer, like we know all the things that we're supposed to be doing, but have you ever felt like, oh my God, I I'm not even marketing myself because I'm working for other people. Like I'm not even taking my own advice because I'm so busy.
Oh my God, all the time. All the time. I, yes, I think if I'm being 100% honest, it took me way too long to realize that I invested all this time in helping other people build their businesses without thinking at all really about how I was building my own. So in a lot of ways, I still feel like I am playing catch up, um, because I always, I don't know if it's the people pleaser in me, but I always deprioritize my own
Mm.
stuff. Um, but I think the important thing, especially when you're a marketer and you're helping other business owners, the important thing to keep in mind is that you're the only one who is looking out for your own success, right? I mean, unless you have like a team of people that are helping you, um, you're the only one who's actively working towards your success. So don't put that on the back burner. Um, and I think I did that for a very long time. I was helping all these clients grow their email list and grow their social following, but I wasn't spending as much time as I should have been doing that for myself. Um, and it's never too late. You can always start and start today and keep moving forward. Um, but yeah, that's definitely you're speaking to my heart right now when you say that, because that is something that I have struggled with for years. Um, and I didn't really start actively focusing on it until recently.
And the same with myself. I feel like when I first started my business, I tried to do everything for everyone,
Hmm.
full service. And then I realized that I loved the content creation and management part. So that's what I did mostly. And that's what most of my clients were coming for.
Yeah.
And then last year around November, I was like, I love creating content and managing my own stuff,
Hmm.
like my business, my colors, like my voice. But I really just want to tell you what to do and have your team do it. I really want to just be like, okay, what is your goal? Cool. Is this a 1 year goal? Is this a 5 year goal? Like, what is the goal that we're working towards? Awesome. now that we know that goal, we're going to break it down into quarterly goals, and we are going to, attack it from different angles, like really getting clear on who your customers actually are. No, you don't have to be on every single social media channel. Yes, blogging is great. This is it. So, like, coming in and honing, and basically, kind of like if you go to your friend's house and she's cleaning out her closet, and it's like, what should I keep? What should I throw away? Sort of thing. It's just like, throw all that away. Like, you haven't, this wasn't cute when you bought it. Don't use this, So
Yeah.
it's just one of those things of like, now here's your wardrobe. We're good. I had to have that moment for myself and really honing in and deciding that, strategy and consultancy are my things, as well as podcasting. Like, those are the things that I'm working on the most for my business. Selfishly, it's a way for me to network. It's really a way for me to build my community and meet other
Yep.
entrepreneurs. But it's also where I realized I shine brightly because, as you said, I was helping everybody else. I was doing so many things, and then I'm looking and I'm like, oh, I haven't posted at all in like almost a month. I haven't done this thing. And luckily, as yourself, like having evergreen content, like, oh, well, my blog was hit or that was hit, like that's helpful. But really, like sitting down with yourself as a business owner and being honest about where in your industry do you shine? What do you know the most about? And where can you focus your time and your energy? And then, if it is possible, for you to be able to outsource the other things that need to get done, you know, whether that is sales, whether that is anything that deals with accounting, whether, you have somebody that is actually doing, the online presence for you. They're the social media marketing manager. They're creating the post, and you are just kind of allowing yourself to be creative in your own process. Those things are important. And I feel as though it gets to a point where you finally just have to let someone do it
Mhm.
because, like it's your baby, and and you feel super close to it. And it's just like, it has to work, it has to work. But there are other people who are just better than you at this. That's why corporations have different departments, because the
Yep.
CEO does not know how to do all these things, but he
Yep.
knows how to, like, she knows how to hire people for that. So I just want to encourage people out there that, one, you are not alone. Like, all of us get burnt out. All of us, we still learn as like the longer that we're in business. None of us are perfect, but as we both have discussed, it's important to get into a community. It's important to, like, do little masterminds, like get some of your friends
Oh yeah.
together, if it's weekly or monthly, and just be like, okay, so these are the problems in my business. What do you guys think? These are the problems in my business. What do you guys think? And you will be surprised at how just bouncing things off of each other will help keep you accountable. And it will also just make you
That's
feel
another big
like,
one.
I can do it.
Yep.
Because sometimes so much is happening that you just stop and you're just like,
Yeah.
I don't even know. So that's going to be over there right now. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah.
Awesome.
I 100% agree.
So, Morgan, how can people find you? What is your preferred way of contact?
Well, they can go to my website. It's www.atlasandanchor.com. You can follow me on Pinterest at Atlas and Anchor Creative. And then I'm having a bit of a meta issue right now. So I'm moving my Instagram account to at Atlas and Anchor Marketing. Um, and if anybody, wants to email me or reach out, I'm always available via email, morgan@atlasandanchor.com.
That is awesome. We will also have all of the ways to contact her in the show notes. notes for you guys as well. And once again, Morgan, thank you for being on the show. I really love talking to other marketers. Fangirl out a little bit. Just like, oh my God, great advice, great advice. It's great. Make
I
sure
know.
you guys make sure you guys tune in next week where we will have more marketing and business advice to help you thrive. And don't forget, if you also are interested, I have a newsletter. What? Oh my God, yeah. And what I want you guys to know about that newsletter is you get weekly marketing tips. You also get to know who the guest of the week is as well. And it is there to encourage you to give you strategy and help you thrive on and offline. All right, until next week, we will see you later. Bye.